Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Monica and I post videos on money, travel, and lifestyle. If you're interested in topics like that, be sure to subscribe down below to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up. I will be sharing daily updates on the stimulus check payments every single day for the next 2 weeks on this channel, so be sure to also turn on your post notifications so you never miss an upload. Today I'm bringing you your stimulus check update for April 18th, 2020. If you have not already checked out my previous video, I gave quite a lot of updates about everything that was happening yesterday, and I also am doing a giveaway in that video, so if you would like to join the giveaway and be a part of it, definitely check out my previous video to see how to be a part. So without further ado, let's get into it. So just know that less than half of the people who are eligible for a stimulus payment have received their check. About 80 million checks went out on April 15th, and they have 90 million more checks that are to be sent out. So if you have not received yours yet, do not worry, it is on the way. I'm really just going to be answering a lot of the most frequently asked questions in regards to stimulus check payments. We all know the problems that have been happening with the portal, but there have been a lot of the same questions I've been reading in my comments, so I wanted to break some of them down. I got a lot of the information from an article that the IRS News has retweeted on their Twitter account, so this information has been validated by the IRS. So first, let's talk about the people who use tax preparers: H&R Block, Jackson Hewitt, TurboTax. Customers who use tax preparation services such as H&R Block, TurboTax, and Jackson Hewitt are receiving a lot of problems. Up to 21 million tax filers use these services, so this is the issue. The IRS does not have these people's direct deposit information because either they received an advance on their tax refund from these companies, or the fee for tax preparation was taken out of their tax refund. These tax preparation companies actually received your tax refund first. They deducted their fees and then sent the remaining balance to their customers. Because of this, the IRS had a temporary bank account on file that the tax preparer created for the 2019 tax season. The IRS is aware of this problem and urges people to import their bank information on the Get My Payment portal. Now, in terms of the portal, we know that when you are going early in the morning, around 9 or 10 in the morning, everyone is slamming the website at this time. So what I would recommend doing is going during off-peak hours. Quite a lot of my subscribers have been mentioning that if they went at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., they were able to process everything a lot more smoothly. A TurboTax spokesperson has said the IRS has the appropriate banking information for all TurboTax filers, which can be used by them to distribute stimulus payments. So according to TurboTax, everything is fine. According to the IRS, they do not have your banking information. If you fall under the category of people who use one of these major tax preparation services, I would recommend going onto the portal and making sure the IRS has your banking information. To all of the Social Security, disability, Veterans Affairs, or Railroad retirement beneficiaries, the IRS will use your SSA or RRB form 1099 payment information. So you will not be able to see the status of your payment on the portal. If you just filed a 2019 tax return, your status has not been processed yet. So once the IRS has processed your return, they'll be able to see the correct banking information and go ahead and send out the direct deposit. Now, unfortunately, the IRS also has some outdated information. So if you answered one of the security questions incorrectly, the IRS will reject your answer. Now, a lot of people have been commenting on my videos reporting that they have a pending direct deposit for payments on April 20th and April 22nd. There will be another wave of payments being sent out this coming week. I'm so happy for everyone who received their deposits yesterday. Some commented that they received it just this morning on Saturday morning. It's also important to note that 90% of Americans are eligible for this payment, so just know the money will be coming. Let's get to a quick Q&A. How do I get past the question asking if I've received a refund or did I owe taxes for 2019? Neither applies to me. Now, this is for our $0 filers. Many people have complained about a glitch with the portal because they neither owed the IRS any money nor did they receive a refund in 2018 or 2019. Therefore, the IRS has no banking information on file for them. IRS spokesman Eric Smith has said, "We are aware of the problem and we are working hard to find a solution." The IRS has not given out any further direction on this yet, but some other $0 filers have mentioned typing in 1.00, and that has in fact worked for them. I would recommend for you $0 filers to try that out, but until then, hang tight and know that I will share with you any future updates on this issue. It's unfortunate because they missed a group of about 8 million Americans who would be under this $0 filer category. Next question, was my stimulus payment delayed because I used a tax preparer? And the answer is possibly. Now, many customers who did use big tax preparers had no issues. They did receive their deposit this past week, but a lot of others did not. One of the reasons you may have not gotten your payment in the initial rollout is that you received a refund anticipation loan, RAL, or a refund anticipation check, RAC. When a taxpayer purchases a RAL or RAC, a virtual bank account is established solely for purposes of receiving the refund and facilitating the transaction. The account does not continue to exist, and therefore economic impact payments delivered to virtual accounts by direct deposit would not reach the intended recipient. However, in many cases, these returns also transmit the underlying bank account information of the taxpayer, which is why some people still were able to receive a payment via direct deposit. Next question, why do I keep getting locked out when I try to enter my direct deposit information? To prevent fraud, the Get My Payment portal will lock you out after multiple failed attempts to enter your information. The information the IRS has on file may be outdated or wrong. Maybe you moved and the IRS has an old address. A social security number may be incorrect in their system. If you get a message that your payment status can't be determined, wait a day. Because information is updated once a day overnight, there's no need to check back several times during the day. My stimulus money went to someone else's bank account. What can I do? It is possible that the IRS has the incorrect information on file for you or just made an error. The IRS says it's aware of the issue and is currently working on it. No matter what, you will receive a notice within 15 days with details on your payment. Next question, we last filed a return in 2018 listing our newborn as a dependent. Why didn't we get the extra $500 for our child? The IRS is saying they don't know what may have happened. You may need to wait for the IRS letter, or when you file your 2020 tax return next year, you will have an opportunity to get the rest of the stimulus money. So if for some reason you don't get the payment now, you can claim it on your 2020 tax return. It's also important to note you do not have to pay this back. This money is not a loan and it will not be taxed. Next question, I filed a 2019 return but used the non-filers tool by mistake. I can't get into Get My Payment. Is there anything I can do to give the IRS my direct deposit information so I don't have to wait for a check? Unfortunately, you may have to wait for your check. You can also keep trying to access the Get My Payment portal. It's very important that you use the correct portal. Do not use the non-filers portal if you plan on filing a 2019 return. Don't use it if you've already filed a return for 2019. Using this tool will not speed up your economic impact payment and will likely slow down the process of your tax return. How do I talk to a human at the IRS about problems with my stimulus payment? The IRS has said do not call. The agency just does not have the ability to accept calls during the pandemic. To protect the public and employees, certain IRS services such as live assistance on telephones, processing paper tax returns, and responding to correspondence are extremely limited or suspended until further notice. The IRS is periodically posting updates on the coronavirus tax relief as issues arise at irs.gov. Next, why do I keep getting a payment status not available message? Lots of people are worried that this message means that they may not get their stimulus money. It's very likely that the system hasn't been able to process your information from a recently filed 2019 tax return, or it's like a waiting room where you sit until you are called. If anyone has experienced something like that, let me know down in the comments below whether this payment status not available is like a waiting room or a queue. A lot of people have just said that it's this status and there's no further direction about what they should be doing. Next question, why didn't we get our stimulus payment? The key to getting your payment in the first batch that was sent out by the IRS is that you received a tax refund in the previous year, so they already had your direct deposit information on file. If you owed the IRS or did not receive a refund in 2018 or 2019, the agency does not have a way of sending you your money electronically. This does not mean you will not get a payment. It means you need to either go to Get My Refund on the IRS website or wait for a paper check in the mail. Next, the Get My Payment tool says my payment should have been deposited on April 15th. Why have I not received it yet? Even though the IRS may have electronically sent the payment, your financial institution may not have processed it yet. Keep checking with your bank, calling them, asking them what the status of it is. If you don't get the money, you'll have to wait for a letter from the IRS. The agency is required to mail a letter to your last known address 15 days after sending your payment. The notice from the IRS is supposed to indicate the method by which your payment was made, the amount of the payment, and a phone number for the appropriate point of contact at the IRS to report any failure to receive the money. So that's good news, knowing that once 2 weeks have gone by and you have gotten some type of error with your payment, you can in fact call them at that time. But once again, it's too late. Is there anything else I can do? Even if you don't fit under one of the categories for why the Get My Payment portal isn't working for you, you should not be worried. If you are entitled to the payment, it will come eventually. The IRS has announced that veterans and their beneficiaries who receive compensation and pension benefit payments will automatically receive their stimulus payments. Assuming you can get into the portal, veterans can also use the Get My Payment portal. So there are two main purposes for the Get My Payment portal. One is to allow people to provide the IRS with direct deposit information so they can receive stimulus checks electronically. And the other is to enable people to check the status of their payment the same way they would use Where's My Refund to track their regular federal income refunds. So if you cannot access a tool to give the IRS your direct deposit information, it doesn't mean that you will not get the stimulus payment. If your AGI qualifies you for payment, at the very least, you will get a check through the mail, and the IRS will use your last known mailing address. They've also said that if you're able to get your electronic 2019 returns in by April 23rd, you will receive your direct deposit payment before May 1st, unless your check has already started processing. April 20th is when mailed checks will start going out, which is good news for those of you who have to go the mail check route. So April 20th is when they're going to start cranking these checks out. They are going in tiers by income, so the lower your income, the faster you know your payment will be coming to you. I repeat, if you use the non-filers tool to add your direct deposit information, it will delay your check payment if you already filed a 2019 tax return or a 2018 tax return. They will not understand why you're in the system more than once, so do not do this because it will in fact delay your payment. So for a quick recap, if you filed a 2018 tax return but not a 2019 tax return, you cannot use the Get My Payment tool to update your direct deposit information. You can only do so by filing a 2019 tax return. Second, if you filed your 2019 tax return and did not receive a direct deposit refund, you're the only individuals who can in fact use the Get My Payment tool to update your direct deposit information. Third, if you filed a 2019 tax return and did receive a direct deposit refund, you cannot use the Get My Payment tool to update your information. If you have not filed a 2019 tax return, I'd recommend filing as soon as possible so the IRS can in fact have your most up-to-date info. IRS has said that you should receive your deposits by the end of April. So that's the end of my video. I want to say thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel so much. Turn on those post notifications, and I will catch you all in your next daily stimulus check update. Bye.